Canelo Alvarez dominates Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. for an unanimous decision victory. And all of the sleeping pill companies should be put out of business tonight because this was truly a boring one-sided fight. Congratulations to Canelo Alvarez. You won the fight, but your training on media day was more taxing to you than the actual fight. It's not your fault. I can't blame you. But what I can blame you for is not knocking Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. out. The man didn't try. Of course, he'll probably make an excuse and say that he was weight drained. And you know what? I'll buy that excuse. But then again, another fighter might have fought through that. You know when you're ready for a fight. And like I said, was Canelo Alvarez ever ready to fight? I think the result now would have been the same if he was allowed to come in whatever weight he wanted to come in on. Canelo Alvarez was that sharp. He was that much on point. But it's almost like a dress rehearsal because after all that he showed tonight against the shell of a fighter, which when he was at his peak, he was a shell of a fighter because, face it, you know, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is like that rich kid who flaunts the wealth of his father who actually worked hard to build the empire. So that name means nothing. It's the father who made the name. But imagine how Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. feels right now. He was so confident that his son was going to go in and pull off an upset. His legacy will never be tarnished as the greatest Mexican fighter of all times. Some may have an issue with that, but really, who can really fight that? But come on, as a father, he has got to be hurting right now. He has got to be. What is he gonna say? I mean, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. just didn't have anything for this fight. And it was almost like, you know, leading up to it, I kind of fell for it. Deep in my heart, I didn't say anything. I kept my mouth quiet because, you know, if it barks like a dog and walks like a dog and stinks like a dog, it's a dog. Look at his history. Look at his Junior's particular legacy of not training properly. We all want the Cinderella story. And I thought it would be wonderful. And maybe I'm just high right now off of the Anthony Joshua Vladimir Klitschko fight last week. Thank God for that fight. Because I can hear the MMA guys now saying, boxing is dead. Boxing is dead. Canelo came ready. He looked sharp and he did his thing. But my thing again is, why didn't he knock Chavez Jr. out? If all Chavez Jr. could do was throw a few blows when Canelo was against the ropes and allowing Chavez Jr. to hit him, and then he would back up and go back to the center of the ring when he would get outboxed. And he lasted the whole fight. Did he last the whole fight because of what Canelo didn't do or couldn't do? Or did he last because his chin was that strong and he weathered the storm? Well, if you're getting hit like that, at least try to hit back. Or were you too weak to do so? Which I'm not going to really let him slide with that excuse. No matter how much you drop in weight, I understand even when you rehydrate and put on a little water weight and get your carbohydrates going and fill out and you rest and everything, you're going to feel better. You'd have something to leave, in the ring. Because, if my cell phone dies down to 0 and I have like 5 or 6 minutes to charge it up, it's not going to charge up to 100%, but I might get 2%. Enough to get me to that next charger where the phone can come on and I can say, listen, I'm coming home late right now. I'm okay. But he didn't leave anything. Go out on your shield, man, especially as a Mexican. Mexican fighters are a different breed. Yes, fighters all fight, but Mexicans, they ain't going for that. And he's a bona fide Mexican, man. So that shows you, in the past, I know Oscar De La Hoya because, he represented the United States in the Olympics, and, he was raised in America, and many Mexicans, from what I understand and what I was told, never really accepted him as a bona fide Mexican fighter. And he did earn his stripes. And many, like they said in the presentation before the fight, leading up into the weeks before the fight, that many Mexicans understood as they migrated to America and had kids here, they understood what Oscar De La Hoya went through, because now their kids are going through it. But that's neither here nor there. When I talk boxing, I'm not going to talk about the weights and the actual fight, because I love boxing. I know a little bit about it, but that's not my expertise like guys who are actual fighters and trainers and analysts. I like to talk about the human element behind it. That's my forte. And Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. took us all for a ride. And he better not ever think, even if he earned a chance to be on a pay-per-view again and become a credible entity, that's going to be a whole lot of work with the amount of money that the Chavez clan has. Again, he's a disgrace. At least give us a knockout, at least get knocked out. But that goes both ways. Canelo, why didn't you knock Chavez out? Now let's talk about Gennady Golovkin. And Alvarez said toward the end, Golovkin, you are my next. You are next, my friend. Yes, sir, it's done. Okay. You want to get comfortable, to the weight that you're at. You fought as a welterweight. You fought as a junior middleweight. You fought as a middleweight. You fought in Canelo weight. You feel you're the A side. You had that in you. Mayweather made you, dance to his tune. So now you're making everybody else dance, to, what are you going to do? Make Gennady Golovkin go down to welterweight? I got to have 20 pounds over you. You want to fight him? Let it be an even thing. You've been fighting damn near as a light heavyweight when you blow up against welterweights and junior middleweights and middleweights. And why couldn't you have fought Golovkin back then? Well, the time has passed by. Golovkin is a little older. You may have felt that his fight with Daniel Jacobs exposed him a little bit. But you know what? Daniel Jacobs is athletic. He's a smart fighter, and he's world class. And I think Daniel Jacobs, actually, Canelo, would beat you easily. Easily. And you've improved a whole lot over the years from when you took your first loss to Floyd Mayweather. And many would question your win over Lara. Okay, and where is Lara right now? I haven't heard from him. What's going on with him? I know this is the business of boxing, and really, Canelo, you don't want to see him again, right? But to be honest with you, I don't think you could beat Golovkin. I just don't think so. This now would be guaranteed to be a great fight, but in the build-up and everything else. But you can't try to make Golovkin bow down to any concessions here and say, well, you have to do this and you have to do that. Even if you are the pay-per-view star and can pull bigger numbers, because honestly, Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, his pay-per-view numbers suck. And you would be the A side as far as the mainstream fan is concerned. But hardcore fans like myself know the deal. And I do understand that the business of boxing is really good for the hardcore fans because it brings in more people, more eyes on the sport, which helps to elevate it and make it good for everybody. All boats rise when the river goes higher. So that's not a bad thing. But don't forget and think that you're a movie star. You are a fighter. And Gennady Golovkin, even though you've improved Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin is a tough cookie. Even if the fight was held 3 years from now. He has been steady in his weight. And I do believe that has given him an advantage. Okay? Even though his style could probably be figured out right now. And you're definitely going to watch over and over the tape, the recording of the Jacobs fight to show you those little things. And they're going to give you, Golden Boy is going to give you every advantage and they're going to fight hard for you to have every advantage in the Golovkin fight. But to me, you coming forward and fighting Gennady Golovkin, you're going to have to do a Floyd Mayweather. You're going to have, and you're doing it. You're doing it. But you look spectacular tonight. But again, how spectacular would you have looked if you fought Gennady Golovkin tonight? Because unlike Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, hits back.